Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, let's go to the NHL top 5, bottom 5. This is still part of point 2, but here we go. Are you ready? Boys, I think they have it. Hey, I like it. Top 5, bottom. The number 1 team in the RP Show, top 5, bottom 5, is the Florida Panthers. They still are. They posted the win last night at Carolina. Their 71 points are the most in the NHL's toughest conference. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, they're 74 points top the West, also the entire NHL. They had points in 19 straight games. Number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. You just can't ignore them. Their .723 winning percentage is second best in all of the Eastern Conference. Number 4, the Calgary Flames. 8 wins in a row are 8 wins in a row. And number 5, Tampa Bay, the most balanced team in the National Hockey League. That's the good news. Now to the bad news. The bottom 5 in the National Hockey League. Number 28, the Chicago Blackhawks. Deal the flower now. Number 29, Seattle. They are who we thought they were. Number 30, the New Jersey Devils appearing in our bottom 5. Congratulations. 2 wins in their past 10. Next to worst in the Met division. Number 31, the Arizona Coyotes. How's the 5-year rebuild coming? And number 32, the Montreal Canadiens. Their 23 points are worst in the NHL. They're minus 85.
Oh, no.
In plus minus. And they're getting worse.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I love the honesty and bravery of Kelly to let people know his struggles in life. Even an all-star NHL goalie can have mental health issues.
I love this conversation that we're having because it's real. Caitlin's the rock star. She's the one that got me down this path to share. And I was so pleasantly surprised that she found only support and love. We need to be loud and continue to share our stories. People need to get the help they need.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Good morning, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show. Don't mind me. I'm just tweeting the links to the show today. A very exciting day. It is episode number 700 of the RP Show. We do indeed have a live studio audience, and I love these guys already because they're just sitting there. They're just watching. We got a few photos ahead of time, but the Moose, Darren DuPont, is here, and the doors are open here at the Grey Eagle Event Center. It's been a work in progress. This coming together. I said we're going to have Riders and Stamps alumni down here. Sheldon Napastuk qualifies as both. And there's a heck of a story about Sheldon Napastuk that you probably don't know, Darren, because you're too young. Do you know the story about Sheldon Napastuk?
I don't know.
Roughriders alumni from North Battleford. Just hang on. I'll get to that story in a second. Okay. He's coming on. The newest head coach assistant coach in the CFL, Tanya Walter of the BC Lions, the first ever CFL female coach. Tanya Walter is going to be with us in hour 1, and former Saskatchewan Roughrider defensive lineman Jonathan Woodard, who just signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, will be with us in hour 2. That's when Nasty Napastuk's going to be with us as well. I'm very excited to chat with Jonathan Woodard, by the way. He is a baller, and he had some very interesting things to say on social media about the quality of play in the CFL. I don't know if you saw that or if you follow him at all, but it was a very interesting thing that he had to say. So that's all coming up. Moose, I'm so happy. He brought Tim Hortons birthday cake Timbits, and he said, these are special. These are just for you and me. He said, everybody else can have the donuts that are over there, but we're doing Tim's, Moose, and I. Because I've had a very stressful morning today. Things that I can't literally divulge on a national broadcast. I can't, but I've been a little out of sorts.
Yeah.
You've helped me with that. So it's been quite a day. Before we hit the quick 6 show horn, we spent most of the last 3 years together. But last night we were separate. You were out in Banff. You were doing a business call. And I want to say this. I was in Canmore, beautiful Canmore, Alberta. And I've never spent much time there.
Yeah.
My buddy Jimmy DeConey's probably watching right now. His son plays for the Canmore Eagles. My cousin's kid, Ethan, plays for the Eagles. So we went out to watch the game. And can I just say this? Couple things. You've noticed that I've been in a really good mood all week. And it started with going to the Flames game Tuesday night, seeing all our friends, getting out, getting some fresh air. And it's just been good. Being social, which isn't normally my thing, but it's been good. That hockey game last night, I was so impressed. I don't know if it was a one-off. I don't know if that's an AJHL thing versus what I'm used to, the Saskatchewan Junior League, but the Alberta Junior League. That game last night, when I would say old-time hockey, it wasn't cheap shots or brawling. It was just tough hockey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was the kind of hockey that I enjoyed. And I said to Jimmy, I'll be back out here. Coaches Andrew Milne, former Swift Current Bronco, and I just want to tell you I had a great time last night. So
it looked like it. We saw it on our social feeds. It looked like a great time. We even caught some of the guys sticking them in the face. Like, they were intense.
Well, I was so much was going on in the game. So I took the phone and I put it on the Rod Pedersen Show Instagram story, and I said, I haven't been in a junior game this rough since 1987. And then I'm like, I hope something happens here that I can film to back up my statement. And then a guy got cross-checked in the face minutes later.
Yeah.
Awesome. No penalty. There was no penalty on that play.
Let him go.
Just let him go. And I should have said, junior A game. I've seen major junior games rougher, but it was just a fantastic time. And as we were walking through downtown Canmore, Jimmy said to me, have you ever been here? And I said, you know what? We came here in the 2000s and we skated on an outdoor rink. Not even outdoor rink, on the lake.
Yeah.
In the midst of the mountains and the fir trees. And I said, Jimmy, I caught I was skating with the Regina Pats, and I caught my skate in a rut on the ice. That always happens in an outdoor rink with me. And I went down and landed on my hand. I was holding my hockey stick, and I broke my hand. I split my hand right in half.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'd like to say that was the last time I ever played on outdoor ice. It wasn't, dummy. So anyways, that was the last time in Canmore till last night. So thank you, Canmore. We'll be out and about. Okay, can you hit the Quick Six show horn, please? Director Jordan, please, and thank you. As you notice by our guest list, there's a lot of football, but it's all topics here in the warm-up live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. So number one, we open with the NHL. Cole Caulfield forced overtime with 8.7 seconds to go in regulation and then scored the winner in overtime to help the Montreal Canadiens snap a 10-game slide. They beat the Blues 3-2. Garnet Hathaway scored 2 goals in a span of less than 2 minutes late in the third, and the Capitals rallied to beat Philly 5-3. In New York, Noah Dobson and Matthew Barzal had scored and had a helper helping the Isles snap a 3-game slide, beating Boston 4-1. Taylor Hall scored for the Bruins, who've lost 4 of their last 5. By the way, I had a lot of reaction out of New York yesterday regarding Kelly Rudy's interview. I think of him as a king. New York thinks of him as an islander. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Far more reaction out of my friends in New York than L.A. Go figure. Also in New York, Pius Suter scored the winner in the 6th round of the shootout. Thomas Grice made 37 saves as Detroit beat the Rangers 3-2. Hey, the Leafs played last night, don't you know? Morgan Riley and Austin Matthews each had a goal and a helper. Jack Campbell made 45 saves to lead Toronto past Pittsburgh 4-1. Austin Watson scored the tiebreaker in the third period for Ottawa in a 3-1 win over Buffalo. Red-hot Patrick Laine scored a hattie. Columbus beat Chicago 7-4, but who doesn't beat Chicago? Winnipeg Jets are winning. Josh Morrissey scored the tie-breaking goal with 6:10 to go in the third. The Jets beat Seattle 5-3. In Edmonton, Neon Leon scored twice. Edmonton routed Anaheim 7-3, and the Oilers remain unbeaten under Jay Woodcroft. And finally, JT Miller scored with 2:21 remaining in overtime after Vancouver allowed a tying goal in the final second of regulation. The Canucks beat San Jose 5-4. That's the NHL story. Seattle's here in Calgary tomorrow night, but I won't be at the game. I'll be in Red Deer broadcasting the Rebels on the ice. Can't wait. Have you decided what you're doing tomorrow night? Did I invite you to go to Red Deer? If not, I'm officially asking you now.
We'll see. There's a lot going on. So the Flames game, there's that, and yeah, we'll figure it out.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do.
I know.
By the way, a lot of time for the warm-up here today, and I'm going to get into the football now. 40 full minutes of the warm-up before we bring in Tanya Walter of the BC Lions. I'm wondering if anybody but the football people care about this. The USFL Draft goes February 22nd. That's Tuesday. For whatever reason, I thought it was today. So I Googled it, did some work on it. Using a lottery, the United States Football League determined the first-round draft order. The Michigan Panthers, coached by former Titans and Rams head coach Jeff Fisher, won the first overall pick. Here's how the rest of the draft will play out. There's only 8 teams, okay? This is for the football people, and just if you don't care about it, keep listening. Number 1, Michigan Panthers. Number 2, Tampa Bay Bandits. Number 3, Philadelphia Stars. Number 4, New Jersey Generals. Number 5, the Houston Gamblers. Number 5, the Birmingham Stallions. Number 7, the Pittsburgh Maulers. And number 8, the New Orleans Breakers. And the story that I read, Moose, says Jeff Fisher's NFL teams drafted several future stars during his 25 years as a head coach. Among players Fisher's team selected in the first round include Steve McNair, Eddie George, Chris Johnson, Todd Gurley, Javon Curse, and Aaron Donald. Does anybody care about the USFL draft?
So, hands up, I guess this won't be the poll question, but did you just learn the draft order for the USFL, or did you just learn the 8 teams that are in the USFL?
Both.
I'm the latter, yeah. I'm both. I mean, it was just, I was listening, oh, there's a team in Tampa? Oh, there's a team here? So I learned about that. We'll see after the draft. If I know any of the names of the players that get drafted, maybe I'll be interested. We'll see where it goes.
Will you watch? Because they're playing this spring, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's April 16th they kick off.
I don't know. As of right now, I would be betting on probably I won't be watching.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, as you would say, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But if there's some players here and some intrigue that this is going to draw me to the TV, then yeah.
I'm interested in it, and I don't typify myself as a football guy, although the football people do. But here's the difference between a fledgling upstart football league versus, let's say, a fledgling upstart minor pro hockey league. Let's say the Southern Pro Hockey League, the SPHL. The hockey people would say this. News comes across, new minor league to start in southeastern United States. The hockey people would go, good for them. Hope it works. From the same news service, fledgling football upstart league to start in the United States. It'll never work. It's a joke. It'll never work. That's the football people.
Right. That's the difference.
And trust me, I know. Been around them for a long time. Moving on to point 3. Actually, that might be a good poll question because we didn't have a poll question. I'm going to put that out to you, the Rod Squad, what you think would be a good poll question. We did the Olympics yesterday. We did the orders the day before that. Will you be watching the USFL when it kicks off in April? That might be a decent Football Friday for FlameTech question.
Yeah. That's not bad.
I would vote yes, and clearly you would vote no.
I'd vote no. Yeah.
Wow. I'm not saying that needs to be it. You tell me if you have a better poll question. We'll wait until the first break before we post it for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center with dealerships across the prairies.
Sure.
2.3. The Edmonton Elks released linebacker Malik Clements and offensive lineman Jahair Jones on Thursday. Both players are Americans. Now listen up for a second. Clements had 11 tackles in 11 games with the Elks last year. His first in the CFL. Jahair Jones leaves Edmonton without having taken part in any games with the club. So that reminds me a little bit of Derek Moncrief when he signed with the Raiders and then got released by the Raiders. This isn't just an Edmonton thing. But Edmonton, you get ready for the Chris Jones show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the 114 players that set a CFL record when he was with the Roughriders in 2016, that might be light compared to what Jones does. And the thing, I'll sit here, stare at the ceiling of my bedroom here at Grey Eagle and think about these things. Edmonton thinks they knew what they had with Chris Jones the last time he was there. And it was a Grey Cup in 2015.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the keys to the castle. Ed Hervey had the keys to the castle. Ed Hervey had to let Chris Jones into the castle.
Right.
And now Jones has the keys to the castle.
Like, we got to get let in here every morning. It was the same thing.
That's Ed Hervey waiting at the door every day. Morning, Chris. Morning, Ed.
See, you said these guys should give us a key here because we're here for 5 weeks
morning.
Every day. Well, doing that metaphor, if we had a key, all these TVs would be changed to us. It'd be redecorated. They wouldn't even recognize the place when they came in the morning.
True that.
And it's probably going to be the same in Edmonton. You're going to look at this team and this organization and the roster and whoever's managing the salary cap and managing, player stipends and meals and travel is going to be like, I don't recognize my job anymore.
Of course.
So, yeah, this is just the beginning. We'll see where it goes. And you can be sure that it's going to turn into more success in the field. I mean, it can't get a lot worse than it was last year. But it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be must follow.
I got one.
Okay.
This could be a poll question, too. I was talking to a football guy yesterday as I was driving out to beautiful Canmore, Alberta, for an hour. Really helps pass the time. You like to do that, don't you, when you're driving? You like to talk on the phone. I don't normally, but this guy's a pretty good friend of mine. And he thinks the Edmonton Elks will finish ahead of the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year. He says Winnipeg's a runaway, number one.
Okay.
And he was kind of ranking where we're at. Now, mindful of the fact that it's February 18th, last I checked, he says Edmonton will finish ahead of Saskatchewan. This guy worked in the league for quite a long time. And does that even matter? Like, it doesn't actually matter, I don't think. What matters is who's playing in the Grey Cup at the end. Right?
Yeah, and it makes me think of that question because I think we can take BC out. I mean, it's probably the least of the four. But
Agreed.
Who would you least like to see? And it's a poll question for Rider fans, but who would you least like to see in your stadium in the Grey Cup? Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton.
That's a good one.
Right? And you can put BC in there too. But who would you least like to see in your dressing room, in your building, if the Riders can't be in the Grey Cup? I think it might be Edmonton, because I don't think they could handle Chris Jones.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Let me think about that for a second. And I'm looking at the comments from the viewers here. YouTube Live, Tacona Pally in Winnipeg says, Rod, are you calling the ice game this weekend? Yes or no? It's a yes. Do you think it's changed? I've been saying it all week. Brian Biggie Munns and I will be at the microphone for the Winnipeg Ice game on 1290 a.m. Winnipeg on Saturday night. Stop asking. Ryland watching in Seattle says, if the Elks finish ahead of the Riders, I'll eat my shoe. How about that? There's so many moving parts. Do we even know who Edmonton's first game starting quarterback will be?
Right.
I feel like we don't know that. Corey Grismer watching on YouTube says ABC, anyone but Calgary. That works out perfect. We'll title it Poll for Rider Fans. Who do you least want to see? How would you word that? Who do you least want to see?
Yeah, who would you least want to see?
Because they expect themselves are going to be in the Grey Cup, so it'd be hard to answer.
It's a wordy poll question. It's a very wordy poll question, so it might not work.
What would drive you the most nuts? Can somebody help us out with the wording of this?
Yeah.
John Ohms watching in Winnipeg. He says, flip a coin on Edmonton and Winnipeg in the Rider dressing room. That's the thing. They couldn't handle either one. Imagine Jones. Dickie, get your stuff out of my office. Where's Murph? Oh.
Could you imagine?
How about that?
And in Calgary, if Bo was in there, right? Sitting in Fajardo's
Bo
stall.
would walk in like Conor McGregor. Where's Cody's locker?
Right. Clear it out. Stuff in garbage bags out front. And then Winnipeg, you got Zach back in the Rider locker room leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Cracking a pill. Yeah.
It's just...
Great Western Original 16. What am I thinking?
But you know what? Like, I know. But like, I'm a Rider fan, so like, this is what fans do. We sit here and we gnaw at this stuff, right? Because it's like, we don't get to the Grey Cup that often, so we just assume somebody else is going to be in it.
Fair. That would have been a question in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
Regarding the United States Football League, Jason's watching in Red Deer. He says, will it be available to watch here in Canada? Maybe a bigger question. Darren watching in Salt Lake City says the games will be on Fox and NBC in the States. So if you get those stations, you can watch. Shoot, I watched the Fan Control Football League on Twitch. It had 40,000 viewers. You know what I mean? So get with it. Okay, we're just halfway through the warm-up. We'll continue all of this fun talk when we come back. It is our 700th episode. We're live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. And you're watching on Game Plus, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Big day here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. It is our 700th episode on the way. Tanya Walter, the newest assistant coach of the BC Lions. Sheldon Napastuk is going to be joining us right down here at Grey Eagle. And if you thought the interview with Kelly Rudy was fun down memory lane, which it was from a hockey perspective, you'll love the chat with Sheldon Nasty Napastuk. And I'll get to his story, why you're going to want to tune into that in a second. Couple things I want to mention, folks. Telemiracle is coming up, the great Saskatchewan tradition, and we are asking our viewers to please help out with the online 50-50 raffle for Telemiracle. It supports the Kinsman Foundation, and we know the great things that the Kinsman Foundation does. They are helping people every day improve their quality of life through gifts of independence, mobility equipment, and medical travel assistance. So all you have to do is be 19 years of age or over, and in the province of Saskatchewan. That's all you need. I see that a lot of people are buying. We're getting about $6,000 a day sold. That ain't bad.
That's pretty good.
But we got a lot to sell to get to the last year's total of $726,000. Don't wait. Buy it now. And a little later on, I'll tell you about Tough Tribe. I'll just tell you one story about Sheldon Napastuk. He played at Iowa or Iowa State. I think Iowa State. But he's from North Battleford. He was a defensive lineman. And he wore number 92. And he was a businessman. I think he got a business degree in Iowa.
Okay.
And he sold hot dogs on a cart in downtown Saskatoon. He was one of those guys. Cart vendor.
Very popular, I bet.
In his mid-20s.
Yeah. And
because he'd played college ball at a high level, he was a good player. He started, asked the Riders for a tryout. And lo and behold, he makes the team. And the media was asking him, what was the impetus, Sheldon, for you? What made you want to do this? Kind of make a comeback or play pro? He's like, well, I was selling these hot dogs to these riders coming out of the bar at 2:30 in the morning every night, thinking if they can do it, I can do it. And he made the team. Had a great career and went on to play for the Stampeders, never left. And I think last we talked, I think he said that he was doing real estate here.
Unreal.
He had a radio show here with Randy Chevrier. They called it the Chevy and Nasty Show. The guy's got personality. He's got chutzpah, pizzazz. Sheldon Napastuk.
That's unbelievable.
Who knew?
You guys sit here, loading these guys up with hot dogs and think, these guys are living. I could go and do what they're doing. This is nothing.
I'm leaving the bar at least sober at 2:30 in the morning. These guys aren't.
And then he went and did it.
Exactly. So we'll get him to tell that story. So the other day I sent him the hot dog emoji. Sent it to him.
I wonder, at 20 years old, did he get, safe food handling certificates? And did he just set up shop?
You know the answer to that.
Start selling hot dogs.
Street meat.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Oh, I just looked him up. Here. Sheldon Napastuk, commercial sales and leasing. LinkedIn. First thing that comes up is his LinkedIn, not his football career. Iowa State. And he played in the CFL from 99 to 2006. Memory starts to go as we get older, right, Kent? Or mine, anyways. I shouldn't speak for you. And our poll question, we've got it up there. I think it's a fun one for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center today. It's for Rider fans only. Who would be the worst rep of the West Division in the 2022 Grey Cup? We just posted it moments ago. And I want to hear from the Rider Nation on this one. If you weren't there yourself, it depends who's answering. It depends how you feel. Early on, Winnipeg's leading, which should not probably surprise anybody, but Winnipeg is leading.
The only thing I'll be able to, I think accurately predict is that BC's not going to get a lot of votes. BC won't get a lot of votes. It's going to be between Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary. And I'm not sure which one's going to win. Probably Winnipeg just because. But I think Edmonton, just the Chris Jones factor. And now a lot of former riders on that team too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Calgary has been, in my lifetime, Saskatchewan's biggest rival. So, I don't know.
Oh, boy. Tacona Pally wants to know, Rod, what floor are you on? We are on the main floor, okay? It's interesting, by the way. A Flames staffer called me last night while I was on my way to the game in Canmore. And he says, I've been watching your social media. How come you have not called me? And I said, I don't want to bother you. To be quite honest, I can't remember why this has come up in my mind. One of the comments has jarred my memory here. And I said, I'm so hyper afraid of having our credentials pulled. He's like, why don't you come down to where I am? And I said, I don't want to lose my pass, okay? I know how hyper-conscious the leagues are of COVID rules. Yeah. And he goes, fair. He says, next time, text me that when you're coming to the game, and I'll come out and meet you. So they are following what we're doing.
That's good.
Now I got a call coming. It's been a day. It's been quite the 24 hours. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg writes in, he says, Steve Armitage has announced his retirement. Didn't he, 4 or 5 years ago? Has he been doing Olympics?
Not that
he
I've
did
heard.
the, where were the last Olympics? The Summer Olympics? Tokyo. He did the Tokyo Games because I watched.
He's so good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. An iconic voice.
And a tremendous CFL broadcaster as well. I knew that this would get the CFL fans jumping. It is a FlameTech Football Friday. FlameTech, your industry leaders in combustion services. Carlos in Indianapolis, who I believe identifies himself as a Roughriders fan, says at least we're only picking one. The worst would be two of the above, courtesy of the crossover. There's not two Eastern teams coming to play in the Grey Cup, so stop it. From Darren Workman in Salt Lake City, BC seems to be the redheaded stepchild of the CFL, stuck way out west by themselves. That's always been the case.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and I'm going to open up the 902 text line here and see what's popping there. I'll just open it up and then I'll move on with the rest of our comments here. It is our 700th episode. We are live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Sheldon Napastuk coming up. Stampeders and Riders alum. Chris, watching in Surrey, BC, writes in, he says, I'm pulling up YouTube just to vote for BC. And he's a Lions fan. Allie in Sherwood Park, Alberta says, Aloha, RP show. Congratulations on your 700th. We look forward to many more entertaining, informative shows. Thank you, Allie, as do we, right, Darren?
Well, I can tell you that based on some meetings and calls that I've had, this show's not going away anytime soon.
Oh, good.
So that should be good news for everybody.
Trent, watching in Norway, writes in, he says, I remember Steve Armitage as a great football, soccer, and swimming announcer. I believe he announced the 2007 Grey Cup. Now, welcome the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Remember that at Skydome in 2007? I think he did. He had to have. It was the last game on CBC. It was Steve Armitage.
Yeah.
Very good, outstanding broadcaster. Steve Armitage, I guess, announcing his retirement today. Speaking of old Steve Armitage, Olympic announcer, Canada added 4 medals to its tally at the Beijing Games. Calgary's Cassie Sharp won silver in the women's free ski halfpipe ahead of Rachel Carker from Erin, Ontario, who took bronze. Speed skater Laurent Dubray of Levis, Quebec, won silver in the men's 1,000 meters, and Canada claimed bronze in men's curling by defeating the United States in the third-place match. Canada now has 24 medals in Beijing. I know for the Summer Olympics, we set the over-under at like 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're at 24 now for the winter. That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, but we're used to getting closer to 30 and into the 30s right after.
Aren't you Debbie Downer today?
2010. I'm not down. I have high expectations. I think so highly of our athletes. But you know what? We're doing okay. It's just one of those games that's just, it feels like a shoulder shrug, right? I don't know if it's the time zone, if it's that there's no fans there, or if it's just that we haven't, maybe grabbed as many golds and as many medals as we hoped.
Right. Well, there's a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been able to follow it all. But you know what? You think we're a lock in curling, and you think we're a lock in
I asked that last
hockey.
night. I was sitting up late watching the games, and I'm like, I just tweeted the poll. What's going on with the curling? Is it that we've been really bad, or the rest of the world's gotten that much better? And I think the consensus is that the rest of the world's gotten better. So I think that's a good thing. But we're usually a lock, and we weren't this year.
With my next point, which is the 5th point, and we got to speed it up here before we break and bring in Tanya Walter of the BC Lions. The NBA's All-Star Weekend kicks off today. It all starts with the Rising Stars Challenge. That revamped event is a 4-team tournament format featuring 12 rookies, 12 second-year players, and 4 players from the NBA G League. The 4 coaches for the tourney are Rick Barry, Gary Payton, Isaiah Thomas, and James Worthy. The question would be, are you going to be watching the NBA All-Star Game? And I'm sorry, but for me it'll be an emphatic no. Or any of the festivities for that matter, because I've always enjoyed the dunk contest. Mm-hmm. I have. Probably of all the All-Star Games, this would be up there, because I watched one play of the Pro Bowl. That was one too many. NHL All-Star Game is a recreational game. The baseball, of course, there's a little on the line, right? With home field in the World Series, so they've tightened that up a little bit. And the NBA, they don't play defense anyway. So in the regular season, let alone All-Star Game.
Oh, no, yeah.
I'm not going to watch, but that might have been a good poll question. Will you watch any of the NBA All-Star festivities?
Yeah, and I think you're probably going to get more people saying no. It's more of those games are more for the younger audience, I think, the kids. And I think that's great. think that's what you should do. You should aim it at the kids and have fun with that, and away you go. But yeah, you and I probably won't watch.
Also, my last point before I let you go, Moose. Here's the hook.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this later. I had it written as a chicken scratch to the side of my page. Junior hockey tickets overall, really has people buzzing. I saw on Twitter here somebody complaining that they went to buy 3 Pats tickets for the family. It was $94 for the 3 Pats tickets, junior hockey. For the same 3 tickets for the Saskatoon Blades, $62, which works out to $20-some a person. And for the Moose Jaw Warriors, $57 for those 3 tickets, so less than $20. So the Pats are getting slammed for overpricing their tickets to come watch Connor Bedard. I don't know. Are they right? Are they wrong? We're going to talk about that a little later, because tonight, this is my 6th point. This led me into it. The NLL weekend. The Saskatchewan Rush are at the Colorado Mammoth on Sunday. The Calgary Roughnecks are home tonight to the Vancouver Warriors. I got a hold of the Roughnecks. I said, would you mind getting us media passes for Moose and I? They said, Rod, whatever you need. Your passes will be there waiting for you when you show up tonight.
Awesome.
So if you want to know why we're in Calgary, look at the way, or wherever we go, look at the way that we're being treated. It's unbelievable. And you looked up the tickets. You're like, in case we don't get passes, you looked up the tickets.
I asked. I'm like, maybe we want to sit amongst the crowd, right? I mean, $30, $32 to sit in the upper bowl, and I think it's like starting at like $52 to sit in the lower bowl. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
So
should be over 11,000.
This is a professional sport, the NLL, and those are pretty good ticket prices as far as I'm concerned, $50 and $30. But fortunately, thanks to the Roughnecks, we'll be sitting in the press box tonight. But I know it's always a very hot button issue with the fans is ticket prices. So we'll talk about that later. Moose, I will see you back at some point in an hour or two.
At some point.
Enjoy yourself. It is our 700th episode of the RP Show, coming to you live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, as you see morning rising here in the foothills. As we say here at Grey Eagle, the gateway to the foothills. We are here on a 5-week residency broadcasting the RP Show. This is Calgary's entertainment destination, and we're pleased to have you aboard today on a FlameTech Football Friday. And very pleased to welcome Tanya Walter to the program today, the newest member of the BC Lions. I'm reading from the news release that went out first part of the week. The BC Lions announced today the hiring of Tanya Walter to the coaching staff as defensive assistant. Walter becomes the first full-time female coaching hire in Canadian Football League history. And she joins us now. I know you're an Alberta gal, Tanya, but you're now working for a BC team. Where are you joining us from today?
Right now, I am still in Edmonton for the next little bit before I head out to Vancouver.
Right. Well, it's going to get very busy, obviously, because as you know, the pace of this sport. I want to say congratulations on this appointment. I've seen all the ballyhoo. I worked in the league for 20 years. The coverage has been amazing. Has it surprised you a little bit? Overwhelmed you a little bit?
I knew that it would hit the news, and I was well aware of that. I mean, I've seen women I know who coach in the NFL and how that has kind of transpired when they've been brought on. So I was expecting it. I don't know if I was expecting it to the point that it is. And I'm also honestly very impressed at how positive everything has been. I mean, I know I've seen, again, the NFL side of things where it wasn't always, the most positive, but I think, it's a huge difference in Canada. And I think that says a lot about the sport and it says a lot about our country.
Yeah, there's no doubt. So, Tanya, I wasn't aware of your resume before you took this job. So if you wouldn't mind, could you please inform our viewers of your playing and coaching resume and what you feel has you ready for this new role?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started playing for the Edmonton Storm, who play in the Western Women's Canadian Football League, in 2013. This year, obviously, I'll be retiring, but I've been playing for them since then. In 2016, I represented Team Alberta at the Canadian Nationals. And then in 2017, I went on to play for Team Canada in the World Championships. Many awards along the way. I had the opportunity to go down to a couple camps in the States, the World Women's Football Games. I also was invited to attend the 2018 NFL Women's Career Forum, which was kind of where I guess I could say this whole process really began. But as a coach, a couple of years into playing, I coached basketball before. I taught dance and stuff. So it wasn't really anything that was overly new to me to be a coach. And also I have, a long career in personal training and sports performance, which a lot of those skills when it comes to coaching are very overlapping. So I started coaching for the FX high school team here in Edmonton in 2017, I believe. And I've been with them since up until now. I've also had the opportunity to take 2 teams to flag football nationals and regionals with Football Alberta. And on top of that, I coached one of our all-girls tackle football teams here in Edmonton in the inaugural year to a championship. And then really any coaching opportunity that's come along, I've went for it. So I've coached a little bit here and there with the Edmonton Huskies, as well as I've worked with some of the U18, U16 Football Alberta camps and tryouts. So I've, really taken the opportunity when it's presented itself to put myself in as many different scenarios and positions as possible. On top of that, I've done a lot of development pieces in Edmonton for girls football specifically and women's. So I think a lot of the skills of trying to build something and perfect something really do fall into that coaching parameter as well. And the last 2 years, I've also spent working directly with the Minor Football Association here in Edmonton and another organization called Free Play for Kids. So I had just recently in 2020 flipped right into football administration as well.
Forgive me, the news release does not say, there's a quote from yourself and head coach Rick Campbell and co-GM, what your role is going to be with the Lions. Has that been announced anywhere? Has that been talked about?
Yeah, so it's defensive assistant coach. So not in charge of any specific positional group, but just really assisting all of the groups as well as special teams. So a lot of film stuff, a lot of logging, and just general, being there for all of the defensive coaches whenever possible.
Oh, cool. So, do you have a preferred side of the ball? Obviously, I mean, you've been doing this long enough, you're going to see all three phases of the game, but what's your niche? Which side did you play, or did you have a specialty?
So I started out as a linebacker, and I spent most of my playing career there until the last couple of years. When I went to Team Canada, I actually played offensive line for the first time. So that was my first crack at the offensive side of the ball, which was really great because at that time, I was still, new-ish to football, and to actually finally get to learn the other side from a player perspective was really great. I still think I'm definitely a defensive player, defensive coach at heart, even though I have spent a good amount of time on the other side of the ball at offensive line.
Yeah, I don't think it ever really leaves you, whatever what's in your DNA, if it's the defensive side. Wally's a defensive coach. Chris Jones is a defensive coach, which reminds me, by the way, so you're an Edmonton gal, or Forestburg, Alberta, which must be a small town because I've never heard of it. Where is Forestburg, Alberta?
So it's 2 hours southeast of Edmonton. And yes, you're correct. It is very small, like 800 people, and probably hasn't changed much recently.
Cool. Well, hey, that's like my hometown, 640 people, Milestone, Saskatchewan. The population never goes up or down because every time a girl gets pregnant, a guy leaves town. They say that's the joke of Milestone, Saskatchewan. But a lot of Eskimo or elk fans out there. What's the rooting interest of that community?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I missed the beginning of it.
What's the favorite CFL team of Forestburg, Alberta?
Oh, Forestburg. I guess maybe the Elks. Honestly, football, I don't think was really that much on the radar in Forestburg. I mean, we didn't have a local football team. So just really anyone out there didn't have a lot of, I guess, access or awareness to the sport, really.
Mm-hmm. What was, did you grow up I don't know what to say. Grow up an Eskimo fan, Edmonton football team fan? I mean, did you have a CFL team as a kid?
No, so I was very much like the rest of the town. I was a basketball player. I did competitive dance. I just didn't really have the opportunity to be around football. It wasn't until I moved to the city 1 or 2 years into it that I started paying attention to football and I started watching it. And actually, the ironic part is my first favorite team was actually the BC Lions back when they had Casey Printers. So it's kind of neat to see that come full circle.
That was a very interesting time in BC Lions football. So you said you're still in Edmonton. You're heading to Vancouver soon. What is up for you in the immediate future then, getting ready to, I guess you'll be at the Combine. What's the schedule ahead for you?
Yeah, so I'll be out of the regional combine here in Edmonton. The end of March, we also head out to Surrey for a week with the coaches, and then we'll be out there full-time starting in May for training camp. Right now, for me, a lot of it is just transitioning all of the roles that I hold here onto someone else, both of my jobs, and then just, I guess, really getting packed up and ready to go.
I'm just going to read you a couple comments here, if you don't mind, before I let you go. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, congrats, Tanya. Ryan H. watching on YouTube says, the CFL and Tanya taking the lead on this is great to see. Congratulations, Tanya. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg, congrats on being a true groundbreaker. Tanya, best of luck this season. Andrew Stute, a Montrealer, says, hey, Rod, I would like to say congrats to another strong woman. I have some strong women in my life, whether it be friends or family. Thank you, Tanya, for showing them that all is possible. Merci. And from Chris in Medicine Hat, congrats, Tanya, you rock. So I'm assuming you've had a lot of comments like that, but it never gets old.
Yeah, it's like I've said, I've had an overwhelming amount of support, not only from people that I've never met and, from all over the country, but I've had so much support from my friends and family, and especially from like our local female football community. It's been really great to see the impact that it's had on a lot of the young girls that have, just recently started playing football and have really bought into the sport and really bought into the process. And it's been really wonderful to see that impact.
Yeah, well, nothing but great blue skies ahead for this. Tanya, thank you for this. Congrats again, and good luck this season with the Lions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rod.
BC Lions defensive assistant Tanya Walter joining us on this FlameTech Football Friday. We'll be right back. Sheldon Napastuk joining us in hour 2, and also Jonathan Woodard, formerly of the Roughriders, now of the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends.
at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Grey Eagle Event Center is the place to be. That's where we are on this Friday morning. Beautiful morning here in Calgary. The gateway to the foothills. Before we turn it over in the Taco Time viewer takeover segment, a sports update. Canada won its first and only curling medal of the Beijing Olympics this morning. Brad Gushue's rink won bronze with an 8-5 victory over American John Schuster in the third-place match. Gushue stole 2 points in the ninth end and ran the Americans out of rocks in the 10th. Canada did not reach the playoffs in the women's team event or mixed doubles. Way to go, though, Brad Gushue, another medal for Canada. The Oilers remain a perfect 4-0 under new head coach Jay Woodcroft. Leon Draisaitl had a pair of goals, and Edmonton thumped the Ducks 7-3. The Oilers have won 9 of their past 12 games, as it turns out. I think they're 5-0 under Jay Woodcroft. Jets defenseman Josh Morrissey snapped a late tie to send Winnipeg to a 5-3 victory over the Seattle Kraken Thursday night. Morrissey scored with just over 6 minutes to go in the game. Kyle Connor added an empty netter. Jets host the Oilers Saturday night. 4 NHL games tonight. No Canadian teams in action. The Nashville Predators are in Carolina. The Wild host the Florida Panthers. The LA Kings take on the Vegas Golden Knights. And the NBA's All-Star Weekend kicks off today, starting with the Rising Stars Challenge. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. It is our 700th episode. We are coming to you live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino here in lovely Calgary, Alberta. Some sad comments coming in, and I'd almost like to say not predictable, because with regarding the female hiring of Tanya Walter, we just got to get our heads around this is what it is. I'm going to tell you a little story. I didn't even tell you this, Moose. I was sitting at the departure gate in Los Angeles on Sunday coming home from Super Bowl, and there was a young lady with a big championship ring on her hand, and she had an NFL jacket, and I'm looking at the ring. It was a big ring, and she was just a tiny little thing. Some girl in her 20s. Here was where my mind went. Did her dad play? Did her brother play? And then I looked at the ring a little closer, and I'm like, that's an OSU ring, Buckeyes. And it fit her perfectly. She earned it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that is the wrong way of me to think that I would think that. And we just had Tanya Walter here. Anyways, this guy wrote in and said that it was a token hiring, I guess. But I guess people like that will never be convinced. She just came on and gave her whole football resume. As a player, a coach, football administration, she's qualified. She might be more qualified than some coaches in the CFL right now. I'm not joking. You know how they get those jobs nasty? Some of those guys. Sheldon Nasty Napastuk next hour. It's going to be awesome. Stick around here on Game Plus and YouTube Live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends
at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I love the honesty and bravery of Kelly to let people know his struggles in life. Even an all-star NHL goalie can have mental health issues.
I love this conversation that we're having because it's real. Caitlin's the rock star. She's the one that got me down this path to share. And I was so pleasantly surprised that she found only support and love. We need to be loud and continue to share our stories. People need to get the help they need.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Good day, Canada. Good afternoon to our friends in the East. Good morning to our friends in the West. We're coming to you from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, that gateway to the foothills in lovely Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's a FlameTech Football Friday and a very exciting episode here. It's our 700th episode of Daytime Sports Talk, the Rod Pedersen Show. Game Plus, right? Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and, of course, 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com. And I'm going to tell you something. Last hour, groundbreaking interview with Tanya Walter, the new defensive assistant of the BC Lions. But if we can get the camera on this young, svelte gentleman to my left, you're right. One of my oldest football friends, Sheldon Nasty Napastuk, the hot dog man.
How you doing, Rod?
Good, Nasty. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been too long.
It has been.
It's been a few years now. I used to get on your show every now and then. A few years back to cover some Rider Stampeder rivalry stuff. But good to see you again, my friend.
It's always good to see you. It always has been. And look, we're going to have a lot of fun here over the next 20 minutes with Shell, and then we're going to let him go because he's running on fumes. He's managing running a startup. But you got to hear his story. He's from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Dare I say the second most famous football player from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. You know that. Went on to play at Iowa State. 6'4", 270, with an afro, 6'6". And he played in the CFL from 1999 to 2006. And I'm looking at the years, and it was only 2 years with Saskatchewan. Then he came to the dastardly Calgary Stampeders, right in the middle of that heated rivalry. It was in 2003. And you stayed. You played and stayed, Shell. What was it? You met a girl, right?
Well, I met a girl in Regina. Actually, I was with the Riders for 4 seasons. So the first year I was there was Cal Murphy, and that was sort of the hot dog story. I just kind of walked.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah. And went out to Calgary, and it was kind of funny because, as you know, anybody that's been a Riders fan going to a Calgary game, it used to feel like a home game. We'd walk in there. I'd see guys from my high school in Calgary cheering for the Riders. Yeah, let's go Napastuk. And then as soon as you change jerseys, the same guys, the same season tickets are
yelling at you.
Oh, yeah, traitor, yeah. I'm like, well, what are you doing here? You on vacation? They're like, no, I work here. Well,
what's the difference?
I work here too, right? Like, come on, man.
Oh, trust me. I know the feeling. I'm going through it. I guess we should back up and go through this chronologically, because I think if you Google the story, I don't want to say you're old, but I don't know if there was internet when the story came out in 1999.
Yeah.
How your pro football career began. It is one of the greatest stories I've ever heard, and you know that. Tell the viewers how this happened.
Well, it was funny. So I played my ball down in Iowa State in the Big 8, the Big 12, and we're used to playing 70,000 to 90,000 people, and I came up and was kicking around trying to get onto a roster, but as a defensive tackle, if you're not playing on special teams, it's kind of hard to crack a roster, right? Because you just didn't have enough roster space. Kicked around a couple years, didn't catch on with the team, and then 1 year in Saskatoon, I'm running a hot dog cart business, and at nights we would have them out front of nightclubs, and the Riders would have training camps in the summertime there in Saskatoon. So one night I've got the hot dog carts up, and a bunch of big guys come walking in, and everybody's, yo, man, get me a dog, man. And I'm like, holy cow, it's the Riders. And, I walked away from there, and it's bothering me. And it bothered me so much, I called my mom. And Mom, like 2 years ago, I'm playing in front of.
And she was in North Battleford?
She was in North Battleford on the farm. And she said, well, if you want to play, just tell me you want to play. I'm like, oh, Mom, you don't get it. This is pro sports. You just don't say, can I play too? And she goes, well, if I don't know anything about sports, if you're not going to do it, don't complain to me.
What a mom. I love her already.
Yeah. And, and I thought about it, and I thought, wow, why not? So I picked up the phone. I called Cal Murphy at the time. And, of course, no answer, no call back. Called him again a few days later. No call back, no answer. I get it. They're in training camp. But week 2 of the season, I heard that Scrivener and Van Wise hurt a knee.
Nelly.
Scrivener, yeah. And it was a little bit banged up. And I'm like, you know what? Now or never. So I shut down the carts. I drove 2.5 hours down to Regina. I waited 4 or 5 hours for them to finish practices and meetings. And I actually caught Cal Murphy walking out of the stadium afterwards. I just walked up to him, and he said, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but we're good. I got your call. I should have called you back. I didn't. So I said, here's my college game films. I said, you know what? If you guys need anything, I'm just up the road. So he goes, okay, no problem. So drive back up to Saskatoon. That night, I walk into my house. The phone rings. It's Cal. Well, you know what? We were hoping maybe we'd get you down tomorrow, just get you on film, see how you're moving and all that stuff. Like, no promises and no problem. So again, next morning, shut down the cars, went down to Regina, worked out for 15 minutes, had an interview with the coaches, and they said, well, we got you on film, we'll let you know. And drove back to Saskatoon. As soon as I walked in my house, the phone rang. Sheldon, you're a rider. You're moving to Regina. And it was unbelievable. It lasted only 6 or 7 games and a couple on practice roster, but it was my foot into the door. But the whole point is, they weren't going to call me, right? It was, and I wasn't even going to do it myself. It was from my mom saying, "Come on, man, if you're
don't complain to me.
Don't complain.
Yeah,
either do something about it or move on." And the next season I was starting, and it just went on from there.
A great career, and on the flip side of that, I do want to mention the radio show, the Chevy and Nasty Show, with my good friend Randy Chevrier, which, quite frankly, he was over here in Calgary. We hated each other with the Stamps and the Riders, but here was Chevy writing me going, Rod, I get you. I know what you're doing, right? And then we ended up together in 2016 with the Riders. Not for long, but long enough.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys, Randy Chevrier, Google him, former Dallas Cowboy, Montreal guy. You guys have a special friendship, too.
Well, and it goes back. So when obviously in pro sports, when they brought Randy in, it was with the thoughts of replacing me. And
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, he's a backup defensive tackle and is a good friend of Tom Hagen's. At the time, he's a defensive tackle. He even played tackle in the NFL. But I mean, anybody who's ever met Chevy, you just love the guy, right? Yeah. And we hit it off instantly. And we worked really closely together for 3-4 seasons there with the Stamps. Ended up getting started on a radio show where we had the Chevy and Nasty show, which of course the Nasty nickname, nobody called me Nasty except for Rod Pedersen, right? That was you coined that phrase, you coined that name, and it kind of stuck on the radio. And I think we were on for 6 or 7 seasons.
It's a long time.
It was a long time. Yeah, we even came back last year for a special comeback show.
How'd that go?
Oh, it was fine. It was a hoot. I mean, it was any chance to get on the air with Chevy again was just a blast.
So, how many seasons here with the Stamps?
Well, it was 4 with the Riders and 4 with the Stampeders. So 8.
It's not bad. That's a good career. Right? Yeah. When the average pro career, they used to say it's 3. It's not. It's 1.5 now for pro football players.
I mean, that's just the thing. The toughest thing is to make it 2 to 3 seasons because you really have to earn your keep. And that is not like how big, strong, or fast. It's how disciplined you are, like how much you can be trusted on your assignments and how can you get the job done. And once you figure that out, you can basically play until your body gives up on you.
As a Canadian, can I say that as a Canadian, you can play a little longer than in this league?
Yeah, I think that's fair because it's hard to find. At that time, it was kind of hard to find Canadian talent that was ready to compete. I mean, then the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Canadian Air Force blew that out. I mean, we've a history of Canadian receivers being the best in the league. But once you're in, it's you play until your body stops or the general manager looks at your birth certificate and says it's time to go.
You're done. But I don't think you have any real regrets. You can't. I wouldn't think.
8 seasons in a 9-team league. You would think if I had one more season, it would have given me a Grey Cup. I think the only regret I have is a Grey Cup. But honestly, like the CFL, making a living playing football for that long, and still having a lot of close friends and connections in Regina and Calgary, it was awesome, Rod. I mean, a Saskatchewan farm kid playing for the Riders. Come on.
I know. Well, Craig Drebbett in Calgary is watching. He says, "Oh man, the Chevy and Nasty show was absolute gold. Loved listening to it in the office, kind of like the RP show now." How did you feel playing against the Riders? Because, listen, in that era, when you were here, our big rivalry was BC, and it was ridiculous. It became Calgary. But you were here when Hank came over.
That's right.
And you saw everything that he put up with.
Yeah, when I came with Hank, Maxie, and a bunch of the other, we started George White. A few guys were coming over, but you're right. It was that BC rivalry for you guys. But it was amazing. I think anytime you go back to your hometown team, like not just the team I started on, but the team that I grew up cheering for, it was always special playing against the Riders, and you always kind of want to stand out in those games, right? You want to stand out, do your job every game, but there's I don't care what they say. Some games are a little more special than others, and that rivalry really started brewing around that time, and I enjoyed it.
Well, I was sad when you left. What was the conditions of that? You got a better offer? What was the deal? We didn't trade you.
Oh no, it was rated free agency, and the Riders had a proposal out, and it was unacceptable, and I think it was like, I can't remember what the money was back then, but I told Roy Shivers what I thought, the deal should be based on Charbonneau and some of the other guys that were playing at that time, right? And he goes, that would make you one of the highest paid guys on the team. I'm like, not even close, right? It was the hometown discount. But at the end of the day, I never felt like I was totally accepted by that administration. And so when free agency hit, Riders in Montreal and BC were all on the phone that morning. But Calgary, it was Jim Daly. Got on the phone and he explained to me the difference between income taxes and property taxes. Like, they really came to me from an intellectual level. Come here, you'll get an oil field job in the off season. And I'm like, well, you know what? Calgary seems like a great place to be. And, for the next chapter of my life. So that was really a determining factor. And the money, but it was a better deal. But it was just a great opportunity at that time.
Our viewers pointing out it's 1111 Mountain. I'm not sure if you're into numerology or not, but there you go. The opportunity portal is open. Interesting that we talk about Calgary as a wonderful city for opportunities, and it is beautiful when that happens. Wayne watching in BC, a good Saskatchewan boy playing for the Riders. Nasty showed his perseverance to get the job in the first place. The interesting thing was what you saw here, because who would have ever thought that Nick Lewis and I would get to be good friends, and we are now, and we hated each other before. But he's told me some Federic stories and some Dunnigan stories.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've blocked a lot of those years out, but yeah, it was some interesting times. Like Dunnigan was all energy and you know, he just wasn't ready for the job at the time. You know, but I personally I enjoyed Matt. I mean, he was an interesting guy to be around. Training camps, though, I mean, no respect for defensive linemen. We had that one training camp. We were on the turf because of the rain. We had like 4 defensive tackles in camp. All 3 of them were injured. So I was taking every single rep of starting lineup plus the scout team. And honestly, I think that's where the start of my back problems came from, was just practicing on turf, 2-a-days, being the only defensive tackle. It was unbelievable.
Well, I guess you guys don't get a lot of respect. And speaking of, by the way, Roy Shivers would end up paying Canadian defensive tackles a lot of money. Scott Schultz being one, right? Ended up being one of the highest paid guys on the team because he realized, I'd be shocked why he didn't know how important that was. But
well, not just as a good player, but when you have a kid, and Scott, I mean, he's right out of Moose Jaw, right? He was an explosive defensive tackle. He had a great personality, and he's really engaged with the community for the years that he's there. I mean, that's if you're a CFL franchise, that's gold. You've got to take care of your local talent, especially if they can play. Right?
Yeah, and they did. However, I think of you all the time. I was just doing, I guess you could say, sprints on a treadmill in Florida at an Orange Theory, and I'm like, I'm not built to do this. And I think about you all the time. When you pulled a hip flexor.
You think about me?
Yes.
Wow.
Sheldon said this 20 years ago. You pulled a hip flexor doing gassers in training camp, and you said the same thing to me. Not in an interview or anything, but they're like, I can't run like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right, do you remember that?
Well, yeah, because different body types train differently. Like the same thing with strength and conditioning. When I came to Calgary, sorry if I'm changing the topic.
No, it's good.
I started when my career really turned around. We got in the All-Star seasons and all that. Was when I started training with a guy named Ron Jarrett here in Calgary, and he trained differently. I mean, we put away the weights. We pulled out tires and ropes and hammers, and this was still back in 2005. It was just the start of the new training regimens. We trained for my position to build that explosiveness. Before you go for those long runs, he made sure like everything was worked out, stretched out properly, because I'm not exactly a thoroughbred horse, right? I'm more of a Sherman tank, right?
Clydesdale.
And exactly, a little more than a Clydesdale,
right?
But
the old linemen are the Clydesdale.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. I think training has gotten so smart. And take a look at all pro leagues right now. The training is so specific.
Yep.
It's so smart in terms of how they develop a person's body, build up the core, work on your weak points. Back even in late 90s, early 2000s, it was still just bench press, squats, and cleans, right? And
it's just hard to believe because you know what Danny Barrett's doing now. He's gone on to an unbelievable coaching career. He's with the Houston Texans as the running backs coach. He'd been with the Dolphins before that and the University of Buffalo.
Oh, good on him.
Right. But you would think a quarterback or his therapy staff would realize not to run everybody the same.
Rod, to be honest with you and looking back, there's probably a certain component of I was a big guy and I just didn't like to run gassers in training camp. I mean,
ruin this for me.
There's that too, right? Maybe I could have done a little more winter conditioning to get ready for it. I don't know.
Fair enough. But hey, when you're on the shelf, you're on the shelf, right? And I remember that you were hurt not for long. But before we let you go, can you tell the viewers what you're into now? This is exciting.
Oh, well, yeah. So I was in commercial real estate. And then when COVID hit, I started seeing the need for increased marketing, getting inside of buildings, getting a look when people weren't touring and traveling as much. And my wife and I, while camping out in Kukanoosa, BC, came up with the idea to start We Drone, where we start like filming from drones. We've got 3D cameras for walkthroughs. We shoot real estate and corporate videos. So just back into the media this time. Instead of being on this end of the mic, I'm on the other side of the camera, and it's been awesome.
Good. Nice that you can do both.
Yeah,
you're a talented guy.
Thanks, Rod.
Well, Shell, we're around. Always had your number. Let's keep in touch, and hopefully we can do it again.
Rod, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Nasty Napastuk. Sheldon Napastuk, CFL alum. When we come back, the Moose will rejoin us. We're live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, and you're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Gotta shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Another beautiful day at night here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're in the event center. Actually, I should mention some big shows they've got coming up. It's on my page yesterday. Moose. Can we bring the moose in?
Well, maybe. I just threw these guys a curveball. Oh, they got it pretty good because me and Nasty aren't the same size. So just as we're coming in, I'm moving the camera. I'm like, oh, it's really far away. And so I probably threw the guys back home a curveball because they probably had me framed up.
But they're the best pit crew in the business.
Good job.
March 18th, Air Supply here at the Event Center. March 20th, Foreigner. Most iconic rock band of all time, some say. Foreigner, March 20th. And May Huh?
Jukebox Heroes in my head.
Jukebox. Oh, they get a lot of great ones. Cold as Ice is my personal favorite. No, that's not my favorite. Urgent's my favorite.
Okay.
May 28th, Jeff Foxworthy, the father of redneck comedy. So what you do the business deals. We're going to be doing some giveaways with Grey Eagle for that?
Yeah, we're going to be doing Air Supply and Foreigner. We got tickets that are going to be given away. So tune in, I think, next week, potentially, and we'll be giving those away over the next little bit. So a chance to come down to Grey Eagle. We already have, and I don't know if Sheldon knows this, but we already have people coming down to the casino because we're here and coming in. You've been getting messages. I didn't tell you I was getting messages last night and over the last few days being like, hey, how much are the rooms at Grey Eagle? Are there any rooms this weekend available? I'm like, I don't know. I don't work for the hotel, but check online. Here's the website. Can see the frustration.
You have no idea, man.
It's like, we don't work for the hotel.
It's not just that. I'm okay with that. We're going to probably come up with a promo code for Grey Eagle. Use the promo code RP Show and get 10% off or whatever. But again, these are nice people. These are my friends. Woo-sa. But people are writing me, hey, Rod, do you have a line on any free Flames tickets? I'm like, I just got here. No.
I know.
And I said, and I won't. And I'd get in on a press pass. But if we didn't have a press pass, we buy tickets. You had family here. You bought tickets.
I bought tickets. Exactly. Yeah. And, it's funny. I know you talk about Cody Fajardo. He doesn't get called about tickets or worried about if the light goes out with the Riders, right? Yeah. But I was going to tell you the difference. That's the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This is the Rod Pedersen Show. It's not the Cody Fajardo green and white team, right? So I get why you're getting called, but people didn't understand this is a bigger operation than just you punching and doing everything yourself.
Well, for the last 2 days, we haven't been on Game Plus television. And people are texting the text line. They're DMing me on social media. And I said, who was here yesterday? I said, that would be like somebody complaining to Bo Levi Mitchell that the game's on TSN 3 but not TSN 1. Do you think Bo has any control over that? I don't have any control that we're not on Game Plus. But it's not going to change, so I need to deal with it. Jack in Calgary, or Vulcan, Alberta specifically, writes in and says, Sheldon Napastuk is a top shelf guy. He was one of my first Life Choice Dynamics members. Love Sheldon like a brother. Really good guy. And I think the guy loves doing broadcasting. I think he would be a great guy to have as an analyst down here throughout the CFL season.
Be awesome.
Chevy and Nasty. You had your nose buried in your emails over there. Did you hear him say that I was the only guy that called him Nasty Napastuk?
You came up with it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Ended up getting a radio show named out of it for 6 seasons here. Mm-hmm. Pardon me. Dan in Saskatoon writes in. He says, morning, guys. Enjoy the long weekend. Someone needs to set up a video of Rod Smith and Steve Armitage narrating the story of the careers of Rod Smith and Steve Armitage.
How about
two
that?
golden voices made for narrating. Bring the two voices together. There you go. How about it? The one thing with Rod Smith, I always think of the Kelsey's Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Rod Smith and I are really good friends, and he's got hands like a porterhouse steak. Like, you go to shake his hand, you feel like a 4-year-old child. And I've loved him on SportsCenter for a very long time, but I see those Kelsey's commercials, and I think you shouldn't be on SportsCenter. You should be doing commercials.
Yeah, or reading movie trailers or something, right?
Kelsey's Roadhouse.
Tom Cruise. Coming this summer.
Yeah, exactly. Rod Smith. Man, he does a fantastic job of the play-by-play as well, obviously. FlameTech Football Friday here. Coming up, Jonathan Woodard of the Kansas City Chiefs now, formerly of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm just checking some of the viewer comments here coming through on YouTube. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says, are you on Monday? Over to the business guy.
It's a hard no. We're not on Monday. It's the family day weekend, and we're giving the staff the day off. So we'll be enjoying the mountains and doing our thing.
We'll be observing the family day weekend that way. Yes. When I was driving on my way out to Canmore last night, or late yesterday afternoon, I saw a bunch of people stopped out on what's the lake out there, Kent? You know what? You don't know? People out there getting the family photo. It's all that one spot.
Yeah.
Where hockey teams that come through go out there to get a team photo or practice outside.
Right.
We got to stop on the side of the road, Moose.
Okay.
Get a photo over there.
Sure.
The Capital Automall Universal Collision Center poll question is, for Rider fans, who would be the worst West Division rep in the 2022 Grey Cup? Which is, of course, in Saskatchewan's Mosaic Stadium. What do you think, Moose, is the runaway winner?
Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, and I think that's just because we're drilled in, I say we because I'm a Rider fan, we're drilled in to say, oh, Winnipeg's our biggest rival. But for me growing up, I always hated Calgary more. And now I like them. It's weird. But Calgary was always the biggest rival because you met so much in the playoffs. I really thought there'd be more. How many votes for Edmonton? I thought there'd be more.
Hey, it's like a three-way tie. It's like Winnipeg's the one really tall building in this, and then it's three small buildings around it.
I see.
Calgary, Edmonton, BC.
I thought Edmonton just because of Chris Jones.
I know.
Wouldn't he? But I don't think they're thinking about it. If you stop and think, who would you hate? Like, if Chris Jones brought Edmonton into Regina for the Grey Cup and your team's not in it, that would be the worst.
I literally think people didn't stop to think about it. They saw Winnipeg on the list and banged it. They never stopped to think about the Chris Jones thing.
Right.
Or, for that matter, Calgary. But it's a small league. There's room to hate everybody.
Yeah.
And it was fun talking with Sheldon over there about the rivalries in the past. Sheldon was like, he started with the Riders, he came to Calgary, and he knew that our big rivalry was BC. But it became Calgary, and man, that was white hot. Jason in Red Deer is watching. He says, the lake out there is Lac des Arcs. Stop. I was driving home from Canmore last night in the dark, Moose. I was at that Junior A hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a sign coming up that said, Dead Man Flats. I thought, well, that's optimistic. Do we know how that area got its name?
I know. I've always wondered about that. It sounds like some weird part of the sea where, from Pirates of the Caribbean, where the pirates are there and you just go to die, right? Well, it seems real ominous and really scary, especially when it's dark outside.
Dead Man Flats.
Yeah.
So, coming up, Jonathan Woodard of the Kansas City Chiefs, formerly of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'll tell you that the text line is open, 902-518-3033. Pick up the phone and text RP. While we have a minute here right now, I think it would be a good time to talk about the featured game of the night or weekend, which is brought to you by our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. There are 4 games in the National Hockey League tonight, Moose. Nashville's at Carolina. The Florida Panthers are at Minnesota. The Dallas Stars are at Chicago. And the LA Kings are at the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'll be honest with you, it's Kings Golden Knights. Doesn't that have a big Tinseltown type billboard?
It does.
Kings and Golden Knights.
Well, it just seems like the Warriors are going together, right? Like that's the battle for supremacy of the world, right? The Kings against the Knights, like trying to take over the whatever. I mean, it's cool. I hope they're both wearing their real shiny helmets.
Wouldn't that be something?
The Kings with the chrome and the golden of Vegas. I think that would be really cool.
Well, actually, the featured game of the weekend, now that I think about it, is the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers. Saturday night, hockey night in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers trying to keep this run going under Jay Woodcroft. The Jets trying to prove that their season's not a write-off. That's the featured game.
So is that the one we're going to do?
Yeah, I think so. I got to look at the odds for betregal.ca and see what they're popping and what the over-under is on that. But I'm just saying that's one game that you're going to want to watch. NLL, 2 games tonight. The Vancouver Warriors are at the Calgary Roughnecks, and we're going to be at it. Albany at Buffalo tonight. Saturday, Georgia's at Halifax, and the Toronto Rock are at Albany. And then Sunday, a couple games. Saskatchewan Rush at the Colorado Mammoth, and then Calgary's on the road to Panther City. And in the Dub tonight, there are several games. There's one here in town at the Seven Chiefs Arena, just down the road. The Calgary Hitmen are home to the Winnipeg Ice. Or is that at the Saddledome? I'll have to look that up. Hitmen Ice here in Calgary tonight. The Pats are at PA. Swift Current Broncos welcoming Medicine Hat. Brandon Wheat Kings are in Lethbridge. Saskatoon Blades are at Red Deer. I noticed you brought my Blades bunny hug out here. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
I just noticed it in the back seat of the car.
Good. Might
Might have to bust that out. Victoria's at Vancouver, Portland at Tri-City, and Spokane at Seattle. It's really nice to me to see that the Dub's back going and all the junior games are back going. That everybody's going.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen all the schedule changes and everything to accommodate the end. We've seen how the playoffs, the season will be extended, I think, till the 17th or whatever it is of April, and then we're going to move into the playoffs and the Memorial Cup. It's great. It seems like we're through the turbulence, doesn't it? It really feels like
yes and no. I mean, I'm following my friends. I'll say this right now. You've noticed very, very little COVID talk on the RP show for over a year? I'm just not getting into it. It's not like my friends aren't deep into it on both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
I just felt like it seems a little early for the anti-vaxxers to be doing a victory lap, doesn't it? A lot of them are claiming victory in this.
The 1 yard line.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, I don't think this is over. Craig goes on. Craig in Calgary says there's an info sign at Dead Man's Flats that basically says they don't know how the name came about.
How about that?
Rather ominous when you think about it. Dead Man's Flats.
We don't know how these bodies got here.
Hey, everybody. Tough Tribe for Men has made the road trip, as it always does, to the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. It's in my room. Tough Tribe for Men contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We are a part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to Clean Beauty for Men, available today at toughtribeformen.com and Amazon Canada. That's toughtribeformen.com. The number 4, order it. I'm telling you, if you order it now, it'll last you for close to a year. He goes through far less than I do. Just a dab,
Just a little
of the pomade.
Yeah.
And you get a flow like that with Tough Tribe for Men. By the way, hour 2 of the program is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 beer. Brewed in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16 is unfiltered for peak flavor. You out?
Yeah, I've been logged out.
You're logged out. Okay. Coming back with Jonathan Woodard after this break. It's a FlameTech Football Friday live from Grey Eagle on Game Plus, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
It's hour 2 of the RP Show for Great Western Original 16 Beer, and we are in that place, the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Event Center. It's to the bottom right of your screen of this sprawling facility here in the gateway to the foothills of the Canadian Rockies. Just beautiful. Hey, our next guest, Clark tells me he's having an issue logging in, but we will get him before this segment is over. And it jogged in my mind about this guy, Jonathan Woodard. I was reading 3downnation.com the other day, and one of the insider comments from an anonymous coaching source in the CFL said this guy should have never been in the CFL in the first place. And he meant that as a compliment. He's from Brentwood, Tennessee, the home of Ken Austin, Jonathan Woodard. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL, Atlanta Falcons, 3 seasons with the Miami Dolphins, a season and a half with the Buffalo Bills, and then 1 stop with the Saskatchewan Roughriders where he ate up opposing offensive line's lunch. 10 sacks in 14 games, and he's found himself promptly right back in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jonathan Woodard will be joining us momentarily once he gets his connection issues figured out. So a couple of things. You can help me kill some time here in Top Dance as we sit in our 700th episode of the RP Show. If you're watching on YouTube right now, because we're preempted on Game Plus TV, you can write in the comment section there or the text line, 902-518-3033. We've been pumping it all day long. Who's your favorite all-time guest of the RP Show? How about that, Moose? 700 episodes. Who's your favorite all-time guest? And if you want to say Jonathan Woodard, that would be great. If you want to say Sheldon Napastuk. As I think about it, for me, it's Don Cherry, a guy that I've been chasing for 30 years to interview, and it took Clark Monroe, our producer, to make it happen. Don Cherry's my favorite all-time guest on the RP Show. For various reasons, but Kelly Arudi ain't bad, especially after what he dropped yesterday. Who's your favorite all-time guest? Let me know, and I'll read some of those comments here before we shut her down, and we're going to bring the Moose back in here, too. We never did get around to that ticket talk, Moose, that we had promised. But a sports update, call it redemption for Laurent Dubray. The Canadian speed skater won silver in the men's 1,000 meters at the Beijing Games today. He was 0.4 of a second behind Thomas Krol of the Netherlands for gold. Dubray narrowly finished 4th in the 500 meters earlier in the games. Canada won its first and only medal of curling in Beijing this morning. Brad Gushue's rink won bronze with an 8-5 victory over American John Schuster. In the third-place match, Gushue stole 2 points in the 9th end and ran the Americans out of rocks in the 10th. Canada did not reach the playoffs in the women's team event or mixed doubles. For a moment, it looked like Calgary's Christian Gao was going to challenge for a medal in the men's biathlon mass start race, but the wind picked up as he approached his final 5 targets, and a handful of misses saw him tumble down the leaderboard. Gao was as high as 4th late in the event, but finished 13th. Johannes Bo of Norway won the gold. Norway is kicking ass at these Olympics. Good for them. The pairs figure skating competition kicked off this morning, and the short program is underway. Montreal's Vanessa James and Eric Radford of Bulmertown, Ontario, are Canada's main medal hopes. They finished 4th in the team event. Kirsten Moore Towers of St. Catharines, Ontario, and Michael Marinero of Sarnia, Ontario, are also competing. That is a lot of syllables. Michael Marinero of Sarnia, Ontario. Say that 3 times fast. The pairs from Russia are the favorites in that event. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis, with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Get yours now at g2gbars.ca. Hey, I see Moose writing in. Nice. He says, my favorite guest was probably Biz. Knuckles has been great, too. Knuckles Urban? Knuckles Nyland? Did we have him on? Oh, the one time. I thought you meant Bob Irving. I'm like, we've never had Bob Knuckles Irving on the air. Tacona Powley says, Theo Fleury. You know what I'm so done with? What show was it that had that feature? I'm so done with. Was it Jay and Dan, or what was it? I'm so done with. Somebody wrote me the other day and said, Rod, love your show, but I'm never watching again because you had Theo Fleury on. I'm like, bye-bye. GTFO. H. I can't. I'm so done with that. He's a very close friend of mine. You don't like what he has to say about truckers and anti-vax. There's the door. Beat it. I'm glad he didn't say it to my face. It might have gotten physical, and I'm over it. You don't like what we do over here? GTFO. H. Young Hoggy is watching on YouTube and says, could listen to you and Kelly Rudy talk for a whole 2-hour show. Thank you, Young Hoggy. I didn't want that interview with Kelly Rudy to end yesterday, and it was funny because at the end, I'm like, we didn't even talk Flames. And he laughed, and he's like, we got lots of time for that. Darren Workman in Salt Lake City says he seemed like a guest because he was always lost, but I miss John Lynch. LOL. Well, there in your comment is the answer. I love the guy, but it's time. As somebody said, the man's had like 4 retirements. Like, can you settle for my imitations of John Lynch, 1975? I just talked to him the other day. Sends his regards. What did I say, Moose? I said he was the most lucid he's been in a year. I was like, Lynch, you are on point. The problem is I never know when that's going to be. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg, he says, I may be biased, but the best guest when Moose was hosting and interviewed Matt Cockle of the Winnipeg Ice. You had Cockle Doodle Doo on? Where was I? I haven't missed many shows in 700, man. Dan Moriarty. Jason in Red Deer, my favorite guest is Bo Levi Mitchell when he's on in a couple weeks. LOL. I feel like it'll be a monumental day in Calgary sports history and Saskatchewan sports history when Bo Levi Mitchell makes his first appearance on the RP Show. John Ohm in Winnipeg says Mount Rushmore of RP Show guests. Don Cherry, Theron Fleury, Kelly Rudy, and John Lynch. That ain't bad. But your Mount Rushmore would have Biznasty on it. Warren Moon's got to be up there. I got to say Warren Moon has got to be up there. We're talking about a Pro Football Hall of Famer now. I like the Mount Rushmore idea, though. Keep them coming. Who's your favorite all-time guest? Max Hardwick says Don Cherry. Love that guy. Yeah, Anthony Calvillo. Gus Frerott's no slouch. 15-year NFLer, Pro Bowl NFL quarterback, Gus Frerotte. I'm just going to check the 902 text line for a second. Chris Jarl in Surrey says, Kelly Rudy was great yesterday. You've had so many great interviews, and I missed Cherry, unfortunately. It's an interesting story, that, because I think we're going to get Don Cherry again, but he's kind of loosey-goosey on the details, right? Kind of hard to pin down, but he's 88. I get it. I'm sure at 88, I'll either not be around or extremely hard to pin down. Peter Marr, when? Yeah, next week, Peter Marr, Calgary Flames Radio, 66 CFR. It's going to be a good week next week. Mark Steven, the voice of the Stamps. Keep him coming. The Moose will join us next. I think we're moving on from Jonathan Woodard. We'll do it another day. It is our 700th episode. We're live at Grey Eagle, and we'll be right back on YouTube Live and 24-hour sports radio, rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
This is it. One more time from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, our 700th episode. Please return to your seats. Fasten your seatbelts. Flight attendants, please prepare for landing. As the Moose is back in here, I got to give apologies to producer Clark and Jonathan Woodard. So apparently, Jonathan finally got the good connection, was ready to go. Then we bumped him out and brought you back in. Right. But it's a fast-moving show. It's live broadcasting. And we got to go with what the script says.
That's right.
So, a couple things. Listen, a couple $1,000s worth of ticket sales on the Telemiracle Online 50/50 since we mentioned it last hour. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know the Telemiracle folks said that they see a spike, like a bump, every time we mention it on the show. They see it.
Yeah.
So, telemiracle.com, online 50/50. I'm asking you, as soon as this show's over, please go and buy your tickets. March 2nd is the draw deadline. Actually, the draw. And tickets can be bought by people in Saskatchewan over the age of 19. It's an immensely important project, obviously, fundraiser. They've paid to sponsor it. Listen, there's somebody else that's watching the show right now who's trying to get in his fundraiser. And I get it, but Telemiracle's paying to sponsor us to get their message out, sir. We're going to read the sponsors' messages. Telemiracle.com. Buy your tickets. Kinsman Foundation is helping people every day improve their quality of life and independence through gifts of mobility equipment and medical travel assistance. Thank you, Kinsman, for what you do. Thank you, viewers, for purchasing your tickets. So it is our partners that keep us on the air. BetRegal.ca is our exclusive betting partner, and we talked with them earlier this week, and they said, let's talk about the game of the weekend that you can throw some change on, or just for fun. Tell us over the next 24, 48 hours who you think will win what I've designated the game of the weekend. Certainly from a betting perspective, it's the Edmonton Oilers at the Winnipeg Jets. I don't really look at the betting stuff. I just look at the game and just think the betting will sort itself out afterwards, right?
Right.
Oilers undefeated under Jay Woodcroft. Jets on a bit of a bump here. I think they've won 5 of 8, hoping to prove that they are a playoff team. Asking the viewers to text in who they think will win over the next 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, Jets and you don't have to be right, but text us who you think is going to win the game, and we'll pull one of the names to win a Bet Regal prize pack. They'll send you something.
Yeah, we'll randomly pick a winner, and we've got some nice Bet Regal stuff. You've seen the bunny hugs that I've been wearing. You've seen my hats, which I have here.
Oh, they're great.
They're really nice Under Armour stuff. Nice work, Bet Regal, with your gear. So there's that. And while we're at it, I want to talk about these ticket prices. And I bring it up with 5 full minutes left in the show, which in broadcasting terms, especially television, is an eternity. 5 minutes. I saw on Twitter somebody complaining that 3 tickets to a Regina Pats hockey game came out to $94 and some change. Same 3 tickets, same spot of the rink, Saskatoon, $62. Same 3 tickets in Moose Jaw, $57. Here in Calgary, I know that the Hitmen have historically had a little higher ticket prices. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe the arena rents more. Maybe they feel that their hockey fans here are used to paying more, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But where are we on junior hockey tickets, and for that matter, NLL tickets, or whatever events you buy tickets to? We're going to the Roughnecks tonight. Vancouver Warriors. Next week, it's the Rush and the Colorado Mammoth. Do you see where the Pats are coming from? Because I guess they're getting raked over the coals.
They are, because it is expensive, but you have Bedard. And look, I know that when Bedard goes through other towns, they sell more tickets. And I have friends and I have my social media followers that message me that they're excited to go see Connor Bedard because he's in our town. So he sells more. You know that there's more demand. So I understand the thinking behind it and the logic behind it. I do. But in that community, there's not a lot of urgency yet because he's got 1 more year. So barring anything crazy, he'll be back next year. So there's still plenty of opportunities. And so fans are sitting there being like, well, I don't really need to go and spend this money right now. We can do something else. We'll still see him. We got lots of time before he's gone. When you get into next year, you'll start to see people say, we're running out of chances to see him, especially when you get into this time next year. So there won't be urgency yet. I understand it's disappointing, but it's tough because it is still just junior hockey, and it's a steep price to pay. It's expensive. Especially when you want to take the family and then you want to have hot dogs.
I guess.
And it's hard because you're such a junior hockey fan. You'd pay anything to go. You'd pay pro prices to go.
My Pats season tickets are $1,000 each.
Right.
And I've got 2. And I don't complain. But that's how much I love it.
Right.
And the other thing, I don't know. Life's about perspective. And when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, not even so much, just all the raging in the United States, not over the last 2 years, but going back for the last 4 or 5 years, people are saying, I would never want to be in America. Canadians were saying, oh, America's terrible. I'd never want to be there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I have no problem when I go. And that was when I was going to Arizona. And people were saying, yeah, well, you stay in a gated community where it's all whites. I'm like, I'm telling you that I don't have an issue when I go to Arizona, okay? And for years and years and years, I had no money, but I've busted my ass to get into a position to be able to pay for these tickets if I want them, or these season tickets, or stay in a gated community in Arizona. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't come at me. My position is that I love going to America, wherever it may be. I don't mind buying tickets. So I guess that just kind of takes me out of the discussion, the debate. We buy tickets everywhere we go.
Right.
If we have to. Like I said, tonight we're going to the Roughnecks game. Had we gone to the Super Bowl this year, we would have bought tickets, but I'm not paying $7,000. I'm not sitting here Richie Rich. I'm just saying I'll pay $30 for a junior hockey game. I think people just want to complain. And I think if the Pats sit back, and I haven't talked to them, I have nothing to do with the Regina Pats at an administrative level. If they sit back and think, oh, they'll come next year, that's a dangerous way to think.
For sure. You have to really understand and what are people willing to pay to go to games, right? And to get the most bang for your buck. You'll learn a lot this year, and I think, tickets will come down. You can't base, your whole strategy based on the highest level of success. We've been in that building when it's sold out. People will pay anything when they're in that much demand, right? Yeah. But will they do that year in, year out, year in, year out?
Last minute of play in the RP show. While it's my commentary today, you can read it at rodpedersen.com right now. It's the top item. I'm saying get out this weekend and do something. Mm-hmm. Go to a game. In our case, go to a game. Go for a walk. It is Family Day on Monday in most provinces. Just get out and do something because it's been so good for our mental health. You would go to the game last night was $10 in Canmore, Alberta.
That's perfect.
I don't think you can really complain about that. So thank you to our guests on our 700th episode, Sheldon Napastuk, Tanya Walter. We'll get to Jonathan Woodard next week, our live studio audience. Thanks, Moose. Thanks to our crew. Thanks to everybody that's got us through 700 shows. 700 to go, Moose.
Yeah.
But it's one show at a time. We'll see you Tuesday at noon Eastern on Game Plus and here on YouTube Live. I'm not this renegade rogue tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. I'm just telling you what's actually going on.